CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Once I went out of the room, I smelled the smoke and I heard the alarm. So at first I thought it was just a drill, and then it was like when I saw all the smoke, it was like, okay, that's not good.
Scary moments for residents of a retirement home in Stayner this morning after a fire forced them to evacuate. Thanks for joining us. 24 people from an independent living facility in Clearview Township won't be sleeping in their own beds tonight after a fire forced them out this morning. CTV's Rob Cooper has more on what happened and what's next for those affected.
I was in my room watching TV. All of a sudden the alarms went off and they came running in and said, "You got to go."
The fire call came in just before 9 this morning. Fire and thick smoke could be seen coming from the Belmont Independent Living Facility in Stayner, where 24 residents were inside, along with an unknown number of staff.
The fire alarm went off. It was very smoke-filled, hard to breathe.
Staff helped residents evacuate as many people as they could before fire crews arrived and took over. Firefighters went on an immediate offensive attack and could be seen inside, outside, and on top of the building, making every effort to prevent it from spreading. 4 residents were taken to nearby hospital with minor injuries.
No word on cause just yet, but it did start at the rear of the building. There's voids between the floors and the walls, and the fire got into all the voids between the first and second floor and the second and third floor, so we had to gain access from the exterior just to put out the hot spots.
No word on how much damage was done, but it is extensive, and no one is moving back in anytime soon. Residents were taken across the street to a church to stay warm before being bused by the county to a hotel in Midland, where they will stay for the time being.
We do loop in our social services as well to make sure any residents that need that extra level of care, extra level of support, do get that support when they're removed from the house.
Staff from the residents being credited for their quick thinking and quick action in assisting everyone inside. The mayor says the building has been around for years and was recently renovated.
It's actually one of the most beautiful retirement homes, privately held retirement homes you'll find in Simcoe, and it's sad that it's gone up in flames here tonight.
In all, 4 people taken to hospital this afternoon. The building itself sustaining heavy smoke and fire damage. Fire crews spending a good part of the afternoon putting out hot spots, and I've been told the fire marshal has been called in. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Stayner.
As Barrie continues its efforts to clear encampments and boost housing, the Association of Municipalities has released shocking data showing homelessness is increasing right across the province. CTV's Luke Samard breaks it down for us.
It is eye-opening and really heartbreaking to see the level of increase in homelessness.
Shocking new data has been released by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, showing a 7.9% increase of homelessness in the province of Ontario since last year.
That is moms and dads, brothers and sisters. This is a lot of suffering. 85,000 people who are homeless now in our communities, and we have to take immediate action, and we've been saying this for some time.
Ontario big city mayors have been calling on all levels of government for appropriate funding and housing initiatives to help solve the crisis. In December, they passed a resolution to reiterate a call to the province to declare a state of emergency throughout Ontario. According to data compiled from the City of Barrie and the County of Simcoe's Homeless Individuals and Families Information System, there are currently 604 people who identify as homeless in Barrie. The Busby Centre says they continue to see more people entering the homeless system.
The cost of living is just becoming more and more unattainable for people. It's a choice between paying your rent or feeding your family or feeding yourself.
As of January 6, 73 individuals in Barrie have transitioned to alternate shelter options from encampments. However, advocates are still remaining cautious when it comes to housing.
A lot of challenges around affordability. People are excited to secure housing, but still wondering and fearful of how they're going to maintain it because the cost of living is just so out of touch.
The City of Barrie has addressed 72 encampments across the city since a state of emergency was declared on September 9th last year. 2 active encampments are located on city property as of January 5th.
We're starting to see positive effect out of the Heart Hub. We're seeing lots of folks going through the program of pre-detox, rehab, and now we need to make sure there's adequate supportive housing available for those folks to start reintegrating back into the community, but hopefully in a much healthier fashion than they were before.
According to the AMO, if no action is taken to address the crisis, the province of Ontario could see its homelessness population rise by more than 170,000 people by the year 2035. Ontario's big city mayors are calling on all levels of government to partner to solve the crisis, as the AMO report suggests it could cost more than $1 billion a year to solve homelessness. Luke Samard, CTV News, Barrie.
Police in Orillia have charged a former youth centre employee stemming from a sexual assault investigation, and they believe there could be more victims. Let's go to CTV's Jack Morris. He joins us live tonight with more on this. Jack.
Well, Sarah, police say that the reported sexual assault went to police on January 7th. That is last Wednesday. The reported sexual assault is not clear where it took place. All the police are saying is that the victim and the accused were, quote, members of the same residential community in Orillia. This is 43-year-old Chris Bronson. He's been arrested and is being held for bail, facing 4 charges. Those are sexual exploitation, sexual assault, luring a person under 18 by means of telecommunication, and making sexual explicit material available to a person under 18. According to police, he's been employed by the Orillia Youth Centre for the last 15 years. The city of Orillia, which runs the centre, says Bronson is no longer an employee, releasing this statement to CTV News. We are aware that an individual has been charged by the OPP with serious offences. This individual is no longer present at the Orillia Youth Centre. The city will fully cooperate with the OPP and continues to prioritise the safety and well-being of our staff and residents we serve. Further than that, staff says the city does not comment on ongoing police investigations or employee matters. According to Orillia's website, the youth centre is a safe, supervised gathering place for kids between 11 and 17. Somewhere they can get involved with programs or do their own self-directed activities. Now, provincial police says there may be more victims, and they're asking anyone who is to reach out. Parents of teens who've used the centre should also talk to their kids. Anyone with information on any incidents involving Bronson is asked to call police. Reporting live, I'm Jack Moore. Sarah, back to you.
A Wasaga Beach man accused of murder following the death of a man found lifeless on the side of the road could soon be standing trial. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports, but a warning. Details in this report may be disturbing to some viewers.
David Zamita is heading toward trial in the Superior Court of Justice, charged with second-degree murder. The 48-year-old is accused of killing 43-year-old Peter McKinvin, who was found dying outside Zamita's Wasaga Beach home 2 years ago. McKinvin was found unconscious near the roadway along Homewood Avenue and taken to hospital in critical condition. Police confirmed Zamita was arrested in March of 2024, initially charged with aggravated assault. The charge was then upgraded to second-degree murder when McKinvin died of his injuries 2 months later. Those in the area said McKinvin was hit in the head and left for dead.
When you take a propane tank to some guy's skull, I mean, that's a little ridiculous.
They left him on the street to die.
Zamita was also charged with possession of cocaine, along with weapons offenses, after investigators seized 4 rifles, a pellet gun, shotgun ammo, and brass knuckles from his home. At the time of Zamita's arrest, those who lived in the area told CTV News his home had served as a dangerous drug house that tormented the neighborhood for years. McKinvin was described by his family and friends as a fun-loving father who provided for his 2 children. Zamita is represented by the firm of Toronto defense lawyer Allison Craig. Evidence heard in court is protected by a publication ban. He returns to the Superior Court next month. The allegations against David Zamita have not been tested in court. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Collingwood.
York Regional Police have arrested 2 people in connection to an ongoing extortion investigation after 2 raids, including one in Barrie. Yesterday, YRP executed a search warrant at a home in Barrie and arrested 55-year-old John Maidley, a former Toronto police officer. He faces several charges, including possession of firearm at unauthorized place and 4 counts of unauthorized use of computer. On Monday, a 47-year-old man was also arrested. OPP is investigating a sticky situation in Clearview Township after cash was stolen from a honey stand late last month. These photos of the suspect were released by police. Investigators say it happened just after 8 p.m. on December 27th at the self-serve stand located at North Nottawasaga Concession 6. If you can identify the suspect or have any information in the case, you are asked to call police. The risks around snowmobiling and the trails that are associated with it are in the spotlight once again this year, now that the weather has improved.
think we're in really good shape. We definitely had a little bit of a setback with that mild weather. You know, with 30,000 kilometers of trail in this province, all these communities connected, everybody's really relying on this to get things up and running.
Riders are excited, but this is Snowmobile Safety Week, and authorities are reaffirming essential information like obeying speed limits, never ride alone, wear a helmet, carry all documents, and with thousands of kilometers of trails in our region, a message for all.
We want everybody to realize that when we're using these trails, it's for everybody, and it's a shared resource. People walk their dogs, community members, skiers, hikers, and stuff. We want to remind snowmobilers to reduce the speed. Okay, be mindful that there's some other people on there that just might not be on a snow machine.
Without having them on the trails to patrol this stuff and keep people in check, I think we would just be into chaos right quick. So definitely my hat's off to the OPP for what they do.
OPP adding that with so many bodies of water in Simcoe County and Muskoka that no ice is safe ice, and to always check the depth and be sure before riding across. Time now for our first look at weather. Uh-oh, the winter beard is coming in. Case that usually means that frigid temperatures are on the way.
Check. You are correct again, my friend. Yes, they are in effect right upon us. They truly are, as is a little snow. You might see it blowing right now. Cold and snow. That's a part of Canadian winter, right? It is also part of the snow squall watches and warnings, and I want you to have a look at this right now. There is a snow squall warning in effect. It is for most of our region, with the exception of Muskoka. Anywhere from 15 to 30 centimeters of snow starting from this evening going into tomorrow, and it's some pretty juicy winds too, 30 to 60 k out of the north, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, we do have the snow coming in. This is a look at first weather brought to you by our friends at Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE -3 as we speak here in the Garden. Beautiful 33 Beacon Road in Barrie, our gorgeous CTV studios. Did I sell that well enough? Winds are out of the north, pardon me. There we go. 19 kilometers an hour. Gusting as high as about 60. This is a look at the temperature as we speak, in -11 right now in Parry Sound, -7 in Mount Forest, -2 in Toronto, -2 in Newmarket, -3 right here in Barrie, -2 in Orillia, and -2, call it -2 in Gravenhurst. And thank you very much. This is the radar satellite images over the last little while, and here comes the snow in varying amounts. Just about everybody gets some snow. And is there an opportunity for some rain? Well, in the southern part of the province there certainly is. And coming up in just a few minutes' time, cold, Sarah. Cold, 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 wind chill cold. I'll let you know how cold it's going to get and how long this bit of a deep freeze is going to last. All that coming up in a few minutes' time. Back inside.
But you say it with a smile. It somehow makes it easier to accept. Thanks, Case. The province says it is making another investment that will help give more people access to a primary health care provider. The government says it will spend up to $8 million to support planning for 16 new and expanded teaching clinics. They will be used to train family medicine residents alongside other health care professionals like nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and registered nurses. The province says the clinics will connect 300,000 more people to primary care.
This funding is part of our government's broader investment of up to $300 million, part of our $2.1 billion primary care action plan, to build new and expanded community-based primary care teaching clinics in areas with high rates of unattached patients.
The first teaching clinics are expected to open in 2027 and 2028, with further expansion to follow. Bonnie Crombie has announced her resignation as the leader of the Ontario Liberal Party, effective immediately. Crombie says it is her time for both the party and her to move forward. The former mayor of Mississauga decided in September to step down after receiving just 57% support in a leadership vote at the party's annual general meeting. The Ontario Liberal Party says it will select an interim leader shortly as it works on its leadership process. The party has not said when that leadership contest will take place. And some major political news out of Quebec today. Premier François Legault is stepping down.
Pour le bien de mon parti et surtout pour le bien du Québec.
Legault said he is taking the step for the good of his party and the province. Legault has led the Coalition Avenir Quebec to 2 majority governments, but it's seen a dramatic drop in the polls ahead of an election this coming fall. Legault says he'll stay on as premier until his party chooses a new leader. It's being called a historic moment. A Canadian Prime Minister back on Chinese soil for the first time in more than a decade. Trade, energy, and agriculture are all on the table, but what many Canadians are looking for is movement on agricultural tariffs. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more.
It wasn't long ago that Canada called China a disruptive power. Now the language has softened as Prime Minister Mark Carney's government looks to bring stability back to a frigid diplomatic relationship.
This is a new government with a new Prime Minister, a new foreign policy. In this moment of economic stress for our country, it is necessary for us to diversify our trading partners.
And Carney has made it clear that rethinking includes increasing non-U.S. exports through deeper partnerships with countries like China. And over the next few days, the Prime Minister will be pitching Canada to business and government leaders as a place to invest.
I think that this was a really important opportunity to reset the relationship at a time when we're obviously dealing with a much tougher United States and where our Canadian national interests have to be rethought.
A key area of debate and likely disagreement, Canadian tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles and Chinese tariffs on Canadian canola products. Government officials say it's reasonable to expect progress on so-called trade irritants, but the definitive removal of tariffs is unlikely.
Our ultimate goal is to restore market access to China, have more smoother, predictable trade with our number 2 export market. And so we're looking for signs of progress and resolution on that front.
While that resolution may not happen, Ottawa is framing this business visit to Beijing as a stepping stone on a larger plan to normalize relationships and help reopen lines of communications. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Beijing.
The past year was the 3rd warmest on record, according to new data from the European Climate Agency. Canada is warming faster than the global average, leading to more wildfires, heat waves, and storms, as well as an increase in loss of snow and sea ice. Copernicus data indicates 2025 was around 1.47 degrees warmer than pre-industrial levels. At the current rate, the 2015 Paris Agreement's long-term global warming limit of 1.5 degrees could be reached about a decade earlier than predicted when the pact was signed. Next on CTV Barrie, transforming plant fiber into pigmented pulp. How this new exhibit at the McLaren Arts Centre offers a unique medium capturing daily life. Plus, as we step into the new year, what's ahead for the city of Barrie, from homelessness to projects on the horizon. Mayor Alex Nettle will join us in studio next. Thanks for staying with us. The McLaren Arts Centre here in Barrie describes it as a connective vision of daily life, pop culture, and studio work.
I was really captured by the kind of tone of all of the images here. They have this kind of twilight feel to them.
Raoul's creation, called Every Connective Fiber, a Theory of Everything, is at the McLaren until March. It's about accumulation and exchange, consisting of drawings, paintings, animation, and a uniquely wonderful expression called pulp painting.
He finds or he buys plant fiber like hemp and flax, and he puts it through this machine called a beater, which grinds up all the fibers, and he gets this wonderful pulp that he adds dye to, and then he puts the dyed pulp into kind of like what you would think of condiment bottles, like ketchup bottles and things like that, where he can separate all the different colors, and then he uses those to paint.
You can meet Raoul on Thursday, January 15th at the McLaren Art Gallery in Barrie. It may not be nationally televised, but it's a big deal here in Simcoe County. It's Hockey Day in Collingwood. Back Back for its 13th year, the annual event brings together elementary and secondary school players and students for a full day of hockey action. Teams from 12 schools take over Central Park and Eddie Bush Arenas, organized by the Collingwood Collegiate Hockey Program, which offers students practical experience leading and running events, including practices that count as class activities.
It's a great time in hockey course. Every Monday and Friday we work on the tournament, and it's all about fun co-ed hockey. That's it's a great day for everyone out here.
Everything you see happening here today is actually the students' end of year's project. So in leading up to this, they've run practices for the elementary schools, they've done all the planning for the tournament, and they're out today running every aspect of the day.
I just really enjoy being with my friends and just being able to play one of my favorite sports.
An added bonus, the kids play a Chuck a Puck fundraiser, and the proceeds from that, as well as collected donations from spectators, support high school lunch programs. There are plenty of local events always happening around our region, and you can read all about them on our website. That's ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or scan that QR code on your screen. As we welcome the new year, it's time now to look ahead at what's in store for Barrie City Council. So joining us now is the Mayor of Barrie, Alex Nuttall. Great to have you. Let's jump right into this, because a little earlier in the broadcast, we shared that the Association of Municipalities, the OMA, is saying an estimated 85,000 Ontarians were without a home in 2025. So how are we doing here in Barrie? Are we seeing momentum in the right direction?
Yeah, I think we are seeing momentum going in the right direction here in the city of Barrie, and it was shocking to see some of the numbers in Northern Ontario, rural Ontario. What we've seen over the last year is it go from about 690 down to about 600 now. That means there's a lot of work to do here in the city of Barrie. The number of tents has gone from somewhere in the neighborhood of 180 down to 2. And, we're going to continue to work through the system. But what has really changed on the streets of Barrie is that we have the Heart Hub, the centre that is focusing on rehabilitation, on helping individuals get over that addiction. And that's something we've been asking for a very long time, and we're starting to finally see the fruits of that work.
What more would you like to see from the province, Mayor Nuttall?
Well, I think there's got to be a focus on what I refer to as mandatory rehabilitation. Some call it compassionate intervention. I think that we need to move past the point where those who are the most vulnerable, who have the highest mental health concerns and are facing the worst addictions, can't make these decisions for themselves. And we need Ontario to get to a point where we are able to intercede in that moment to get those folks into help and support, and not wait. Unfortunately, here in Ontario, we're not there yet. There's a lot of work that needs to be done by the province on this, because you can't just flip a switch. There's got to be a system in behind it that's ready for that type of volume. And so that's where I think over the next 12 to 24 months, I'd like to see the province go.
Is there anywhere that you feel like the province isn't stepping up?
I think the province for the city of Barrie has stepped up massively. Like when I look at the funding for shelter, the funding for the Heart Hub, the funding for removing encampments, the state of emergency that they allowed us to continue with, the declaration of emergency at one of the encampments due to the E. coli levels, the support for our police department as we were going through a very terrible investigation this year inside of an encampment. I mean, the communication is constant, and the support has been robust. But we do need to find a way to get to that mandatory rehab and compassionate intervention. We need a way to help those who are unable to help themselves.
Okay, let's look to 2026, other exciting developments.
Yeah, there's tons going on. I mean, in fall of this year, we've got the opening of Lakehead University in Barrie's downtown. That'll be a first. Engineering programs, all types going there at the old bus station. And we also have Georgian College opening in downtown, so all of a sudden there's going to be 1,000 new students between them in Barrie's downtown day to day. The moving of the Sea Cadets across beside the South Shore Centre, the start of the Performing Arts Centre going in, and we'll finally get to start on our South End Rec Centre, where it will begin with some of our fields being put in, whether it's for baseball or soccer or anything else.
Now, the elephant in the room, I know you've taken some time over the holidays to talk with your family. Can you tell us at this point, or are you able to share with us whether you'll be running for re-election in the fall?
Yeah, we've been going back and forth as a family, just talking about it. I think everybody's, excited about the prospects of being here longer term, but I'm not ready to, announce anything yet. There are things when it comes to public service and family that it can be difficult on days, and I think that we have the support of the entire family, and now it's waiting on me to fully commit and go forth.
Okay. And outside the family, we will be the first to know.
100%.
Thank you very much, Mayor Nuttall. Happy New Year to you and to yours.
Thank you, and to you. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, we've been speaking with the Mayor of Barrie, Alex Nuttall. This is obviously an ongoing conversation. Let's pull up the website because there is plenty more to learn from that. ctvnews.ca/Barrie. And still to come, the Wasaga Arena lived up to its name last night as budding hockey stars took to the ice. That's in just a few moments, but first, let's check in with Case.
You should know that in minus 25 degrees Celsius temperatures takes about 15 minutes for frostbite to set in. And it's going to be chillier than minus 25 in some of our areas. How chilly? I'll have that answer for you coming up. And our Weather Watcher artiste, have a look. Lincoln says, it's about time we crown a snowman. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Our Picture This theme is comfort food, and it has been making my mouth water all week. Perhaps I'll make spaghetti for dinner tonight. Thank you. Keep those photos coming. Picture this at ctv.ca. Now, for those that don't know, KC, it may not be your comfort food, but certainly KC's, one of his favorite foods is fish. And Case, I knew that you were in the shared newsroom kitchen today based on the scent of your salmon. I will say, though, you didn't go as far as warming it up in the microwave, so for that we thank you.
Comfort food. You're talking comfort food, right? Fish comfort food. How about a nice fish pie?
Hey, you know what? You are a healthy guy. Perhaps we should all take a page out of your book.
There you go.
Just not in the shared kitchen.
Fish pie, I'll bring some in. We'll heat it up in every microwave in the building. Done! Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about a little snow coming down. Let's talk about a little bit more snow coming down. Let's talk about a snow squall warning in effect. And here we go as we take a look at some of the areas affected by the snow squall warning. Yes, it is a huge part of our viewing area everywhere, pretty much south of Muskoka. Yeah, not quite on over to Lake Huron, but pretty much we're looking at anywhere from 15 to 30 centimeters. It's already started on the way down this evening, and it will continue on right through into tomorrow and the better part of tomorrow, along with some very, very chilly temperatures. This is a look wind chill map. Let's call it the wind chill map. Minus 14 right now in Gravenhurst and falling, minus 11 in Parry Sound and falling, minus 15, and you get the general idea, in Collingwood with the wind chill, minus 14 in Mount Forest, and looks like minus 5 in Newmarket with the wind chill. And continuing on with a look at the forecast, the almanac for today, 3 and minus 1, the high, the low, 14 degrees back in 1995, and ladies and gentlemen, minus 33.3 in 1957. Gunfight at the OK Corral was just released in theaters, starring Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas just a few days before this very record, so people were huddling inside movie theaters trying to get warm, looking at Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster. What a great film. 9 hours and 14 minutes of daylight, sunrise, sunset. And this is Adam's rendition of the forecast radar. Thank you for rolling that, Technical Director Adam. And we see the snow rolls in, the snow rolls out. Piles up, piles out. That doesn't make any sense. Let's talk about the southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight, wind chill minus 24. Winds out of the north, 40 to 60 K, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. Not everybody gets that amount. Some will only get 5, but flurries and squalls blowing around. Oh, my goodness. And then for tomorrow, minus 11, minus 12. That's the high. We're not really going too far, are we, as far as the high for tomorrow? Flurries and squalls, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Winds still gusting out of the north, 40 to 60 K. This is Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill. Overnight, minus 21 with the wind chill, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. Ladies and gentlemen, we could possibly have some rain as well. Just a few, wet flurries that come down, and you're going to think it's raining too. No, it is snow that's coming down, 10 to 15 centimeters. And then for tomorrow, minus 12, minus 11. Flurries and squalls, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. So the snow blowers, the snow shovels, get them ready. You're going to need it. And minus 29. We're going to the northern part of our viewing area. Minus 29. Risk of frostbite this evening for Perry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton. Anywhere from 2 to 4 centimeters of snow for most of the area. Halliburton, a little bit more, 5 centimeters of snow, Halliburton Highlands. And then for tomorrow, minus 11, minus 13. Flurries and squalls in the morning. A peak of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, yes, but there is a risk of frostbite. It's going to be a chilly day. Risk of frostbite by tomorrow evening. And in Halliburton, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. You're getting a little bit more than some of the others in the area. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now, time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this in Simcoe County. There it is. 5-day extended forecast. Friday, more snow on the way. Minus 5. Okay, it's a little milder, right? Not quite minus 12 like we are for tomorrow. And then Saturday, a smidget of sunshine. I love that word, smidget of sunshine. Minus 4, 60% chance of flurry activity. Minus 7 and cloudy skies, 60% chance of flurries again on the Sunday and Monday. Well, let's go with 60% chance of flurry activity. Minus 8 for the high. This is the 5-day extended forecast for York Region. Snow on Friday. At this point, it looks like Saturday and Sunday, cloudy skies and a pretty good chance of snow, minus 1, minus 5. And on Monday, it looks like 60% chance of snow continuing and minus 6 for the high. This is the Muskoka, Perry Sound, Halliburton 5-day extended forecast. Everybody gets snow in varying amounts on Friday. And Saturday, a smidget of sunshine from the northern part of our viewing area, 60% chance of flurries. Sunday is cloudy skies and again, that 60% chance of flurry activity. And Monday, alert, I'm letting you know, 60% chance of flurries. Look at that overnight low. Minus 22. We're dipping down again, Sarah. We're up, we're down, we're up, we're down, and we're throwing in more snow. So, winter. Got your tea cozy on, you're all right? Comfort food. Fish pie, Sarah. I'm bringing it in tomorrow.
I forgot that hat is, in fact, a tea cozy. We'll talk about that later, because right now we need to focus on the fact that some of the best junior hockey players in the province took to the ice in Wasaga Beach on Tuesday night. The Wasaga River Dragons hosted the Greater Metro Junior A Hockey League All-Star Game. It began with a prospects game and skills competition, with the evening topped off by the All-Star Game. The home team was well represented with half a dozen players in each of the games. Now with 12, the River Dragons lead the league with the most players from a single team at the event.
Last season was our first season. We had a lot of success. We came second place in the league, and we made it to the semifinals and the playoffs. Every game we had a very great fan base, so the league took notice of that and decided this would be a great spot to host a league event, and so far so good. It's a great turnout tonight. I think as of now there's over 400 people in there, and it's exciting hockey, and it's a great community that supports hockey and loves the game.
Since arriving at the Wasaga Stars Arena in 2024, the River Dragons have been averaging 500 spectators a game. Now, it is never too soon to start talking about the weekend, and there is plenty happening for that. Let's go to Bounce 104 Morning Show host Martin Van Coy. Here is your weekend event listings.
Hi, I'm Martin Van Coy for Bounce Radio, and these are your weekend events for Pure Country 106 and Bounce 104.1. Kicking things off this week, Quest Art School and Gallery in Midland is hosting a live painting performance this Saturday from 2 to 3. artists Carolyn Boyd and Enrique Bravo will collaborate on a single canvas for the first time in public. It's part of their show, Hungering for Intensity, Longing for Peace. The finished piece will be given away after the exhibition closes in March, and visitors can enter the draw up to 3 times during the event. You can learn more at questart.ca. From brushes to boards, if you love winter sports, check out 2 big competitions taking place this weekend. Horseshoe Valley Resort hosts the Timber Tour Slopestyle from the 16th to the 18th, and Mount St. Louis Moonstone features the Style Series Slopestyle on the 16th and 17th. Both events will showcase top ski and snowboard talent for your viewing pleasure, and you can learn more at freestyleontario.ski/timber tour or ontariosnowboard.ca/events. Hockey fans can also enjoy the U9 Coyote Cup on Saturday at the Elmvale Community Arena. Local league teams will battle it out with Player of the Game awards and medals for champions and finalists. Visiting teams will be coming from all over, and you can never go wrong with a little bit of local hockey. You can learn more and find full details at elmvaleminorhockey.ca. And finally, let's take advantage of the weather this weekend at the Y-Marsh Open House on Sunday. Admission is by donation, and activities include snowshoe basics, guided hikes, bannock roasting, nature crafts, and birds of prey demos, plus a trivia challenge and a free draw make it the perfect family day outdoors. You can learn more at ymarsh.com/open house. Those are your weekend events for Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Coming up next here on CTV Barrie, flying south for the season. Snowbirds are reconsidering their destinations, but it might not be entirely where you would expect. That, plus we'll recap your top stories. Stay with us. Recapping our top stories, 24 residents and an unknown number of staff were evacuated from the Belmont Independent Living Facility in Stayner after a fire this morning. 4 people were taken to hospital and the building sustained heavy fire and smoke damage, and the fire marshal has now been called in. The Association of Municipalities of Ontario releasing data showing a 7.9% increase in homelessness in the province since last year. Ontario big city mayors hope all levels of government can come together as the AMO predicts it will take more than $1 billion a year to solve homelessness. And David Zamita is heading toward trial in the Superior Court of Justice, charged with second-degree murder. The 48-year-old is accused of killing 43-year-old Peter McKinvin, who was found dying outside Zamita's Wasaga Beach home 2 years ago. Amid ongoing tensions between Canada and the United States over the Trump trade war, some Canadian snowbirds are re-evaluating their winter getaways. Now, as CTV's Scott Hurst explains, many, though, are still flocking south for the season.
We have seen a noticeable drop for much of the year in the number of Canadian travelers looking to head south of the border, but the decline in snowbirds may not be as pronounced. A recent survey by Snowbird Advisor focusing on Canadians looking to escape the cold, mostly retirees, shows a roughly 15% drop in respondents saying they're making other plans, and some are choosing other destinations such as Mexico or Spain. But the majority of respondents to the survey say they're still planning to spend their winter in the United States.
Bottom line is, if you own a house, you are not going to go to Mexico with a house sitting in Florida or Palm Springs or something like that. Crowds are down. The amount of people attending events and things like that are 100% down, no question about it. But as far as the snowbird side of things, I'm seeing very little downturn at this point at all.
For the snowbirds who are staying home or going elsewhere, some of the reasons have to do with the current political climate, threats made to our sovereignty by the Trump administration, and uncertainty over new requirements for Canadians at the Canada-U.S. border. Also, many are pointing to the weak Canadian dollar as a reason not to go to the United States. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
In business news, Barrie is in the top 10 cities in our country when it comes to rental prices. According to Zumper.com, a one-bedroom apartment in Barrie increased nearly 2% this month from December to an average of $1,790 a month. The price of a two-bedroom did not change month to month. It sits at $2,000. Barrie is now the 8th most expensive in the country. Vancouver sits at number 1. Moving into the markets, the TSX was up 46 points, the Dow was down 42, and the Nasdaq was down 238, and commodities, oil oil was up, closing at $61.88 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at $4,635 an ounce, and our dollar up, ending the day at 72.06 cents US. After beating the best team in the NHL on Monday, the Toronto Maple Leafs were absolutely crushed in Utah last night.
He's got Tavares in alone. John Tavares in, clubbed by Vejmelka.
The Mammoth hammered the Leafs 6-1 in Salt Lake City. Calle Jarnkrok scored the lone goal for the Leafs, who had their 4-game win streak snapped. It comes the day after a thrilling OT win over the Avalanche. The Leafs have today off and will be in Las Vegas tomorrow night to take on the Golden Knights. Still to come, survey says they're a good match. How a Canadian man questioned his way to finding a soulmate. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we're giving away tickets to see Triumph at Scotiabank Arena.
So make sure you're listening weekdays from 5:30 to 10.
Here's a look at your primetime lineup. The Rookie is at 8 and 9 p.m., followed by Criminal Minds at 10 and CTV News Barrie at 11. When you think of romance, surveys may not be the first thing that come to mind, but curiosity, efficiency, and technology came together to create a love story like no other in East Vancouver. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
If Graham McCarthy was asked to answer a multiple-choice question about the best beginning for a love story, he likely wouldn't have picked officiate a fish funeral.
Yeah. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah, officiated a fish funeral. That's what I did.
That's what the pastor was doing when he met a friend of a friend for the first time named Katrina Froese.
So it was fun that he showed up and he had a whole eulogy, and that's the kind of humor that I was like, all right, I can get behind this.
So when he eventually asked her out, Katrina said yes. But then Graham sent her a survey to fill out about her preferences for their first date.
I thought it was a joke. I didn't think he was serious, but then he really wanted me to answer the questions. So I was like, okay, guess this is real.
The mostly multiple-choice questions range from what kind of food she wanted to eat to her preference levels of fancy schmanciness, from pajamas to a dress, suit and tie.
Purely efficiency. Had a lot of questions, didn't want to send a lot of texts.
Graham also hoped it would be charming. And after they went to a dinner and a movie, and he presented her with a post-date survey, Katrina agreed it was. And then she posted it on social media.
Within like a couple of hours, it like blew up.
While the post earned more than 10 million views, the couple learned they were compatible in countless ways. And after dating for a few years, Graham asked Katrina to stop in the middle of a hike to look at her phone and fill out another form.
That basically gave a survey of how he's been doing in our relationship.
After answering them all positively, Katrina read the final question. Will you marry me? As you can see, she said yes. And then a few months later, they both declared, I do.
It was awesome. It was like super sweet.
Oh, it was incredible. It was the best wedding I've ever been to.
Although Graham hasn't sent any other surveys since, both he and Katrina are committed to keep having fun and always consider each other's preferences moving forward.
Like, don't seek your needs, seek the other person's needs, and if you're both doing that, then everybody's needs will be met.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
Casey Colby, is that not the sweetest story you've ever seen? Check one, yes or no?
Other. Sure.
As much as I want to delve into that, tell us, recount us with this story, the tale of the tea cozy hat.
Oh, tale of tea cozy. Is it my mother? She sent me a tea cozy in the mail. I thought it was a hat. I didn't realize it was a tea cozy. I started wearing it as a hat a couple years ago, and she set me straight, as mums always do. Thank you very much. But it's pretty warm, and you need it tonight because it's some kind of cold tonight and some kind of cold tomorrow morning. About the Get Up and Go forecast. Are you ready for it? Here we go. How about a little snow? That's what we're looking at. And temperatures in Barrie, Newmarket, and Gravenhurst, we're starting at about, minus 12, minus 13, and minus 15. That is, of course, without the wind chill at 7 o'clock in the morning. Have yourself a very wonderful, warm, comforting evening, everyone. Sarah.
Yes, folks at home, grab those tea cozies and make sure that you hold them tight. It's going to be a chilly one. I'm Sarah Freemark. Thanks for being with us tonight. And Jack will wrap things up tonight at 11. Take care.